A week went by. Zayne Okoro went back to his routine, the meetings, the deals, the interviews. The world demanded excellence of him, and he gave it. But between the calls and the contracts in the intervals, his mind strayed. If you're new, please subscribe to our channel, like this video, and don't forget to share it with your family and friends. Also, let us know where you're watching from. To her, to Amara Ikena, she had rejected him, not because she was arrogant, but because it was her duty. To her brother, to her world, Zayne had dated supermodels, heiresses, diplomats, but none of them had ever said no to him, least of all twice. It made her unforgettable. He was standing alone one night, gazing at his phone before texting his assistant. Research and find out which hospital her brother is in. Keep it confidential. 2 hours later, he stood motionless in the pediatric department of St. Faith General Hospital. He was dressed in a black hooded sweater and hat, fitting in with the shadows. A nurse subtly nodded toward room 19. Peering through the little glass window, he saw her. Amara sat beside her brother's bed, wiping the warm cloth across his forehead. Her eyes were weary, back curving with exhaustion, but she smiled at her brother as if he were the only one in the world. Zayne's chest constricted. She gives everything and demands nothing. He didn't go in. He left a small envelope with the nurse instead. In it, a prepaid medical card for 3 months' worth of medication for Tobai, anonymously. Later that night, Amara stood in shock as the nurse explained. Someone paid for his treatment, Amara, all of it, but they didn't leave a name. Her eyes filled with tears. Who would do that? She had a sinking feeling she already knew. Back at the hotel, she cornered Zayne near the private elevator. You were at the hospital, she said. He looked up, unfazed. I was. You paid for Tobai's meds. He did not deny it. He needed help. Amara swallowed. Why would you do such a thing? Out of guilt? No, out of respect. She blinked. Zayne stepped closer. You turned me down because you care for him. You work double shifts, sleep on hotel beds, miss meals, all in an effort to save him. I have never met anyone like you, Amara. Her voice broke. You can't just throw money at me and think I will be impressed. I'm not. I'm trying to earn your time. Just one dinner. Nothing more. This time she didn't say no. She didn't say yes either. She simply stood there, silent, confused, and unsure whether her world had just become more dangerous or more beautiful. A few nights later, Amara had on a borrowed dress from a hotel maid. Plain blue, modest neckline. She had her braids tied back and a subtle lip balm applied. Her hands shook the whole time she was outside the roof restaurant where Zayne had reserved a private table. As she entered, he rose from his seat to meet her. For a moment they stood there. Neither of them had ever seen the other outside a uniform, his suits and hers, and his and her aprons, his confidence and her weariness. Tonight they saw each other as simply two people. You look. He paused, worn out but lovely. She smiled awkwardly. You look. Hi, maintenance. He laughed. Good enough. They sat. The city sparkled around them. Dinner was stilted to begin with. Zayne discussed technology. Amara nodded obligingly, but was patently lost. Then she discussed Ho, by his aspirations to be a soccer player, how he laughed even in pain, how their parents passed away 5 years ago. Zayne listened, unobtrusively moved. Sometimes she breathed. I wonder what it's like to be the one who's rescued, not the one who's always doing the rescuing. Zayne gazed into her eyes. Perhaps it is time someone saved you. Amara flinched, her feelings struggling to remain concealed. Do not make promises you cannot keep, Mr. Okoro. He leaned in, then ceased to refer to me as Mr. Okoro. She paused. Zayne. There, it was a spark, and yet it was also silent, unmistakable none the less, As the evening progressed, the rooftop dissolved. The city, the class divide, the hum of who they all disappeared, and for the first time in life, Amara permitted herself to feel noticed. Actually noticed. Part 3 ends here, but the journey is just getting started. You won't believe what happens next. Watch the next 4 episode.